Hello, chat. Hello. I should probably talk. Hello, guys. I'm OBS fully, like, I wouldn't say crashed. It didn't crash, but it like glitched out in such a strange way, and so I'm like, it's not 100% working, but I decided it's better to figure this out on stream. I look tired. I woke up at I wouldn't say tired. I would say I woke up early. I had a frisbee practice in the morning, so that's what I was up to. And then it looks like I probably should have opened OBS earlier, cause it's it's not functioning at its finest, is how it phrased that. But it'll be okay. And we're doing a practice test today, which will be fun. One thing is, though, I also was trying to figure this out, because the test that I also was planning on doing, like, wasn't fully functioning as of, like, literally, like, this morning. It was working before. So we're just gonna have to do our best. I'm finding another thing right now. It looks like we'll be fine, but yeah. Because what's happening right now is I'm only finding old exams, and they all have more multiple choice than we're supposed to have. Pink Devi, hello, welcome to the stream. Still setting a couple things up. And then my music is doing this as well. That's always fun. Let me know if the music's too loud or too quiet, because I know in the past it has been too loud and no one's told me. And then it's been messed up for the rest of the stream. So let me know if there's issues. Okay, so I'm not finding a full practice exam that's working, because the one I had is what I had, and it's not working. But you know what I can do? I can just do the first 28 questions that are on here from, like, the old exam. And then there's still the thematic essay on all the documents and everything. So theoretically, I could still just do it, you know? But I didn't want to start stream too late, so I came here instead. Stubby Gray, how is it going? I'm doing alright. My OBS, like, whole streaming setup wasn't, like, fully functioning, and so I'm still working on fixing that. Also, my light. I'm so annoyed about my light. Where is it right now? I don't even know where my light is, but I normally have, like, a light right behind the camera that fell off the wall. There's, like, a mark on the wall, like, it's supposed to be held up. And so that's also... The stream is tearing down to bits, is what I'm trying to say. As is the only hard thing, I agree. I think the majority of the multiple choice here can be solved by simply, like, looking at the stimulus, and it'll give you the answer. That's gonna be really embarrassing when I come back to this in a little bit and I, like, fail this exam that I'm taking right now. But, you know, we take those. What I'm trying to find out is why there's no, like, test I can take. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I think my teacher on Google Classroom posted a thing we can do, like a practice exam. So if it's not interactive, I might just do it on a, like, Google Doc next to it, you know? That might be the vibe here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so my teacher posted a full MCQ, like, thing, like a full Google form. So I think what I'll do is just do a Google form for the questions. Because it is also worth extra credit for my class, so, like, I'll take what I can get, you know? And then, the thing is I need to find where to do the short answer and everything, though. Was the light one with the hazard warnings? Yeah, Yeti, it's the one you got me. It, like, something happened with the wall. It's not the light's still functional. So, I think I just need to glue it back on, and it'll work. So, it'll be okay. I know I'm gonna get an 80 just for saying that. Regents God, don't forgive people. Yeah, I think the curve, also, like, all Regencies have a curve, so it's not like it's gonna be the end of the world. Like, it'll be okay, you know? Okay, so I think I figured out what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna do a Google form for the questions that my teacher gave us. And then for the rest of it, I'll do it on a Google Doc. Okay. Yeah. Let me reload this page. Which one should I do? Because now I need to search for Regents. Global History, Regents. I'm gonna do June 2024. Sure, why not? June 2024. Oh, this is a answer sheet. Don't want to open that. That would be cheating. Okay. Let me take a quick gander to make sure I haven't done this one yet, because I have done a couple. I have not done this one. Okay. So I think we're good to go. And then I'll open up a Google Doc as well for this. Alright, chat, we're working. Sorry it took me a second to set up, but I decided it's probably better to do this on stream and at least be live, rather than start, half an hour late it's about to be. My bad that wasn't prepared at 6, but, you know, take what we can get. I need to open up a Google Doc as well. Wait, so I want to see if I can simply do this. I'm gonna test something right now. If at least it hasn't killed you yet, the light. I don't think the light's gonna kill me anytime soon. On Google, I open this one. That's not the one I wanted to open. Actually, no, it is the one I wanted to open. Yeah. So if I put this one here, let me actually make it the right size. If I put this here, right? And then I take another Google. Hear me out. This may just work. I really does hope this works. I really hope this works. And then the other one, what is the other one? This one? Oh my god, it worked. Oh, it worked! It worked! Some degree, all the Regencies are on paper. I'm only doing it online because, like, so people can see it for the sake of the stream. But it is going to be a paper exam if I put me over it. Oh my goodness, chat, it worked. Okay, it's functional, And then, where's my timer? I need a 3-hour timer, right? I do have a 3-hour timer. There we go. And then I need to get the study background as well. Alright, we figured it out. We have a working stream. Yay. And then the first thing that I'm actually going to be doing is neither of these, because there's also a, what's it called? Google. The multiple choice is going to be the first thing. Let me make sure I don't dox myself when I open the Google thing, because it has my name on it. Oh, I should probably lower that. Does this one work as well? Please tell me it does. Yes! Oh, it's actually really large, but... Yes! Oh my goodness, guys, we have a working stream. How incredible is that? Oh, yippee. Oh, it's everything I hoped for. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna give it another minute just so we can set up. Release the binary video. Oh, did you see my my Google Doc of the planning sheet? Is that what you saw? That was a video. Oh, it's also on the board right here. This is also for that video. I made a video. This is for my comp sci class. Should I show it on stream? You know what? I don't think today is the day to show it on stream, but because I think Regents should stay for Regents, because if people want to watch it, I'll wait for a better day. I can show it to y'all the first stream after Regents are over, if y'all want. It's not gonna be for like 2 weeks, so it's kind of like leaving y'all for a while. But there's Global this week, and then next week I have Spanish, Chemistry, and Algebra, which will be 3 streams back to back. I'm excited for that. And the week after is our only stream with, like, this only summer stream before I go off to my study abroad program. I could show y'all then if you want. So it'll be a while, but because like, this is not a video I'm releasing on my channel. It's not like a study guide video or anything. Where did my chat go? Why did my chat just disappear? Whatever. Alright. I'm kind of dilly-dallying. I think we should get started. Okay, I'm gonna turn on my... So, I'm gonna... Actually, I'll put this in chat if this feels important. Hold up. The 3 MF days in a row is gonna be to kill me. Yeah, do you also have those 3 in a row? Because, like, because not many people have Spanish and Chemistry and Algebra. But I know some people definitely do. Are on the same boat as me. I am not talking to chat while taking the test. Smile. And then I'll pin that. I've gotten... Stumpy, I think you're new. But there's been so many people who, in, like, my geometry stream I did last week, were like, you're not talking to chat, it's pre-recorded, it's fake. And it's like, y'all, I'm not gonna look at chat in the middle of a gosh darn practice test. Y'all are gonna give me all the answers. But, yeah, that is going to be our game plan. I'm still so orange. Hold on. I know there's no music, so it sounds really boring. Where's my... There we go. Why am I so orange? There we go. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna get started with the exam. Respond to me, streamer. Any attention to study. Exactly. It's like... it's like, y'all, you can chill out for a second. Okay. Where's my music? There's my music. I'm gonna switch over to here. My timer's reset. And we are off. Okay. So, I'm gonna be real. I was really busy today, finishing up work and everything. Our last day of school was I have my timer, so I'm kind of dilly-dallying, but also we have 3 hours for what should be an hour and a half exam, so I can nap a little bit. I have been so busy today with, like, math homework, and I played Frisbee in the park earlier. I was, not able to prep for history. But also, history is, like, really light, I feel like, and I'm actually... I'm gonna say that and then mess this up, but... You know, also, I found my light. My light's up here. Put this here, will it actually stay? Well, it kind of will. I'm actually gonna look at stream real quick. Does this make me look better? Is the lighting better? It is. Do I still have homework? I have, like... Because the school ended, but we have, like... The last day teachers can turn in grades is Friday. So a lot of my teachers said, like, as long as you turn it in by Friday, then, like, I don't really care, and you can turn it in, so. Alright, now we're looking at chat. I already clicked this one just to make sure that this thing was working, but I didn't actually read the question. Okay. Based on the excerpt, which statement best describes the author's point of view? Put my phone away as well. Okay, in the book, in your home rule, Gandhi asked the question, why do you want to drive away from the English? You apply the following statement. Because the Indians become impoverished by the government, take their money year to year. Okay, so basically like an anti-India being a British colony thing. Based on the expert, what statement best describes the author's point of view? Gandhi being the author, like this section here. this one. Because this is saying that British rule is good, which is not at all what this is saying. There's no mention of the military, so, and then there's no mention of Pakistan. This is the only correct answer. Which group's ideas are best supported by this excerpt? This is Montesquieu. No, I kind of forgot what Montesquieu says, but that's what this thing is for. Nor is liberty if the power of judging is not... Oh my god, it's like old English. I was not prepared to read, like, not proper grammar English. Nor is there liberty in the power of judging is not separate from legislative... Nor is there liberty if the power of judging is not separate from the legislative power and from the executive power. If it were joined to legislative power, the power over life and liberty of citizens would be arbitrary. So just separation of powers. Well, Enlightenment... Montesquieu is a Enlightenment philosopher, so that's just... Yeah. He's not a monarch, not a communist, and this is religious, which is not relevant. Okay, I didn't even have to read the excerpt. I've noticed when I've done practice questions, like, you don't even really need to read the excerpt. You can kind of just, like, yap. And you can have this, like... Sometimes the answer is, like, so obvious that you can just kind of, like, go from there. But, whatever. Which statement best represents a reason Japan is seated at the table of this cartoon? What is this cartoon? 1989. France library. Bibliothèque is library. China, the kings of cake and of emperors. Is this like... Well, I don't... Japan's seat at the table. Is Japan the big one controlling here, or... Because if it is, then it's like when Japan expanded in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, leading to World War... No, that happened after World War I. Why is this in 1898? Hold up. This is not related to industrialization. I was asking why Japan's seat at the table of like carving up China. So it's not an ally of China. I wouldn't say stronger. It was strong. Like, it got bigger. And the Tokugawa shogunate centralized Japan's government. This is a weird one, because it's like, what do you mean like a reason it's represented at the table? Because it got bigger, it got more land, it got industrialized. So like, it could be because it industrialized, but it also could be like because of this. I think it's probably not this one because it's like saying that like it's like a too like authoritative of a sentence, you know? I'm gonna go, I actually don't know when the Meiji Restoration, like, I know when the Meiji Restoration was, but not like fully. I know it's around that time period, but I don't know if it's like after World War I or if it is in that period. But I think it is in that period. And there's also a chance that the Tokugawa shogunate was before this. So I'm gonna go with this and call it a day. This is my first one I'm not 100% sure about, but pretty sure it's that. Which factor in China is most likely caused by the population trend shown in this chart? Percent of urban areas goes up, percent of rural areas goes down. This is in China, but I don't think it matters. Oh, it does matter because it's China. Not famine. I feel like everywhere it's employment opportunities, no? Like, I don't... Like, China specifically is throwing me off. This is 1990 to 2003. The one-child policy was, like... I don't see how that would mean you go to urban areas. Spread of disease would be something against urban areas. And then I don't think... Famines weren't happening in this time period. So I'm gonna go with employment. This is also the time that China started becoming more powerful on the world stage. So I'm gonna go with this one. Dude, map questions, oh my god, map questions are so light. I love map questions. You can always kind of look at it and kind of figure out the answer. A historian could best use this map to study which topic? This is talking about the British Empire, League of Nations, and Anglo-Egyptian condominium under British rule. Okay. Not United Nations members before the UN. I don't think this helps say anything about the transatlantic slave trade. Oh, imperialism. Okay, I didn't read the first option, imperialism. This is an empire. Oh my god, so much reading. Going from a map to this is like a jarring experience. Which important issue does Winston Churchill discuss in this excerpt? Excerpt from the speech of Winston Churchill, March 5th, 1946, so after World War II ended. From what I understand about Winston Churchill, he was a really good wartime leader, and then the second World War II ended, he kind of like didn't know how to run a country not in war. What important issue does he discuss? Okay, I'll have to actually read this. Iron Curtain set across the continent. Behind that line lie ancient states, Central Eastern Europe, Warsaw, Berlin, Prague, Vienna, and such. All fit the city population around them, and the Soviet sphere. He's talking about, like, the Iron Curtain, rise of communism. All of them kind of talk about that, though. Actually, no, they don't. Not the British Empire, not Germany, not Leopold World War I, so, yeah. I feel like for context, I took AP World. I don't know if that was clear or not, but like when AP World had like answer choices that were so much more like relevant. Like if this was an AP World question, all of these answers would be relating to communism. So I was reading to get more information, then I looked down at the answers, and this is not in the right time period. Britain's not mentioned once, and this is after World War II, let alone lead up to World War I. So I keep forgetting how, like, easy this exam is. Like, I'm not trying to, like, brag. I feel like everyone should think this is easy. I don't know. I probably shouldn't be saying that, but, you know. Alright, let's continue on here. Next question. Which of these headlines represents the event that occurred last? Oh, it's just a, what's it called? Timeline thing. Berlin Wall, 1989, yeah. Truman Doctrine in Greece and Germany, that was before, that was like the 50s. USSR places nuclear missiles in Cuba, that's the 60s, and I don't know who this is, calls for India to be non-aligned. Okay. I don't know who Nehru is, I don't know if I need to know this man. It is talking about India, so it's going to be after the 60s, because they became independent. But non-aligned is probably talking about, like, communist or not. And the Berlin Wall was probably later. I know it's either A or D, just because I don't know what D is. So I'm going to go with A and hope for the best. Which potential problem is faced by the... Oh, these are, like, the same... Oh, there's several questions. There's 2 questions. I forgot. So this exam has 2 questions per stimulus. But I guess because it's a Google form made by my teacher, then I have to... They're, like, randomized. Which is kind of annoying, but it's fine. Okay. Which possible problem is faced by the government of China due to the trend shown in the chart? This isn't related. This is the opposite of true. This is just wrong and also not a problem. But overcrowding is a problem. See how, like, straightforward. Like, I feel like this stream is meant to help people who need it and, like, they want to see someone, like, take a test, like, and have their thoughts out. And I feel like I could really do that with AP World when I did that exam, and geometry as well. Though geometry I didn't know too well because I never took the geometry class. But here is kind of just like, it's common sense. What type of warfare is described in the Passage? Oh my god. Passage. We're talking about 1896-1977. American soldier during World War I. My music ended. What happened? Never mind. In 1965, he wrote a memoir, Gas Flames World War I. I was experiencing World War I. Okay. We're talking about what type of warfare. It's gonna be guerrilla, but... Actually, no, it's gonna be trench. But... Alaria exhausted, no record for men, indeed. November 1st. Rest and dig for the night. Artillery still firing. Yeah, so if you don't know that World War I was mainly trench warfare, you can look at, like, foxholes, dugouts, those are all trench things. But, yeah, nuclear, we've never had a nuclear war. I guess the Cold War, but the Cold War wasn't, they didn't use nukes. Biological is, like, that's not even specific enough. And then guerrilla, it's also I would argue trench warfare is somewhat of a guerrilla. No? Because I feel like trench warfare is just a strategy of guerrilla warfare. So at the end of the day, they're both like total war type activities, you know? But whatever. It's kind of small. Let me make this larger. I don't want to cover anything as well in the open stream. cover this. Yeah, these questions are actually kind of small. Let me make this larger. Okay. Which statement best describes the Sadler Committee's purpose in collecting testimonies like the one written above? I don't know what the Sadler Committee is. This is an expert of William Cooper's testimony for the Sadler Committee in 1832. 1832? What was happening around that time? What did we begin working? What statement best describes the purpose of collecting? Okay. Oh, so this is about like bad working hours. This one. And then this one, any other children who died. Also about like child labor and people dying. These are not factory workers. It says in the mills. To test education levels. They're not testing education here. This one. It doesn't mention the British here at all, so it's informing. Why is my music like cutting out in the middle of like... There we go. Okay, back to this. Hold up. Which of the following is the central cause of the developments depicted in the charts? What are we seeing here? Main cause is dryland soil degradation by region. That feels so like... This is such like an AP Human Geo question. Why is this on a global Regents exam? Main cause of dryland soil degradation by region. Okay. Overall deforestation is pretty high up. And actually, that's not even true. It's very spaced out. Hold on, what? Deforestation... Desertification does not refer to the movement forward. What? It's just the developments depicted in this chart. Except each continent has very different things. I guess like Europe has bio-industrial and no one else does. Ambulances keep going by me. I don't know why that is. Famine caused by civil war. Well, it's not going to be civil war related because this isn't every continent. I'll go with this one. Yeah, I got it. I keep getting stuck. Okay, something that I need to like know for the exam is I keep getting stuck on not actually reading the answer choices and kind of figuring out what the question is asking. Because I don't even fully, like, if there were better answer choices here, I don't know how I would answer this, but fascism doesn't have to do with soil. Civil war also doesn't. And then nuclear power could, but only one continent, and this, like, the second smallest one, even has anything related to, like, man-made war. So... that one. Which principle is best supported by the excerpt? Oh, this is the Montesquieu one again. What principle? Separation of powers. I mentioned that already earlier. Okay, so I think we're probably over half. I don't know if you guys can you guys see that on stream? Yeah, you can see my little you can see this like bar here. We're halfway through, which means that most of these stimuli are probably gonna start repeating because they're not in the right order. So this one we've already seen as well. What claim is supported by these set of headlines? Cold War impacted countries other than the Soviet Union. That could be an answer. Independence movements developed, not related. Globalization is a result of proliferation of technology, doesn't talk about technology. Organization of the OPEC. I've never heard of the... I don't actually... I think if you asked me to say what OPEC stands for, I wouldn't know. All I know is petroleum exporting. That's all I know. Developed as a... Okay, so only one is actually, like... I think like, the other three, like, are right. It's just they're too specific that these 4 news headlines cannot help with. A historian would find these documents most useful for... This is the Sadler one again. Not the upper middle class. Not farmers. The effects of pollution? It's not in cities. And then factory life. Oh, does mills mean factory? Oh. I thought mills was like mines. Wait, hold up. Did I get this one wrong as well? Okay, so they do all mention factories. I just thought like factory was wrong, but this is still the right answer. Just making sure. Y'all are probably, if anyone's chatting, so y'all are probably yelling at me about that. This one again. What is a valid conclusion based on the information shown in the chart below? I don't think we can make any conclusion about the primary cause. Deforestation causes soil degradation to more hectares in South America than Asia. South America. Soil degradation? Wait. Deforestation. Then Asia? Well, a higher actually the same percentage, so no, that's not right. Like a numbers thing, not right. Large number of hectares affected by soil degradation due to overgrazing is Africa. That's true. Arable farming. Okay, this one, I didn't know they could ask questions like this, where it's kind of just like, look at the graph and the graph tells you the answer. But, I mean, I'll take it. Oh, there was a subscription. I'm gonna look at chat just for a second. I'm gonna hope there's not answers in there. Actually, there can't be answers. I haven't looked at the next question. But somebody subscribed. Let me play this again, just so I can... Oh, it doesn't even show up. That's my bad. Where's my freaking thing? Oh, alerts is above Google. Let me run that back. Still not showing up? No, we're not doing that. We're not gonna... Alright, well, an alert should come up, but, I don't know how to spell that. TRG Dev? Turglev? My bad. Thanks for the sub. Hope this is useful for you. Try studying history in India as 10x ROTE learning. Really? Do we actually need to know India a lot for this exam? That's actually, I kind of noticed that. I'm gonna stop looking at chat, but I kind of noticed that there was a lot of India stuff in the past couple of questions I've been doing, like in the days past preparing. But I didn't realize it was like a thing. I thought it was like my brain just being confused, like in messing and focusing on random things. But good to know. I'll probably look over India for like a minute or two before I go to sleep tonight. But I do also want to go to sleep at a reasonable time because Regents is still Regents. It's still an exam. Regents still Regents doesn't mean anything. Okay, back to this. Freedom Charter was written in response to the policy of... What is the Freedom Charter? I don't know. It is adopted by the Congress of the People in South Africa in 1955. We people of South Africa declared for all our country world to be known. South Africa belongs to who we live in, black and white. So this is like an anti-apartheid document. Country will be prosperous, free, under all equal rights. Cool. Crazy that was like 1955 is kind of early for something like this to be created. I said it before I even read the answer. Apartheid, yeah. This is the one about the war, a guy who wrote the memoir for World War One. What's the question? The document will be most useful for a person examining, I wouldn't say the causes of World War One. Lives of soldiers, yeah. I mean, lives of soldiers in active duty. Because, like, you could be a soldier in, like, 1990, not in active duty, and your life does not look like that. But, yeah, for a soldier in active duty, that'd be that. Treaty of Versailles after World War One. It doesn't talk about the causes here, and it doesn't talk about the effects on the average Americans outside of the soldiers themselves. Let me put my music back on. Music keeps cutting out. Which event was an effect of the ideas expressed in the excerpt by Gandhi? Gandhi's talking about, like, anti-British stuff. Which event was an effect of the ideas? Independence of India and Pakistan. Wait, what event was an effect of the ideas? That's a very, like, strangely worded. That's actually a tricky worded question. Because if it said which event has an effect on the ideas, it'd be this one. But it's not saying the event affected the document. It's saying the document affected the event, which is the independence. Where did my mouse go? Hello? There we go. Based on this excerpt, which statement best describes the author's point of view? This is again World War One. Oh, there's several questions about this one. There's more than two. Best describes the author's point of view. The author probably did not want to be there. fast-paced, it is not fast-paced. Unless this says it's fast-paced. I mean, maybe. No celebrations, and doesn't mention horses. Well, I would assume that a world war would be dangerous and tiring for the soldiers. It's not even related to this here, but... I got worried for a second because the houses here said horses, and I was like, oh shoot, did I get this wrong? But... Alright, back to the Freedom Charter, anti-apartheid. What are the signers of the Freedom Charter demanding of their country? Equality for all citizens. And I agree with that. Documents were most likely written during which historical period? Well, it says 1832, so the Industrial Revolution. Green Revolution was end of the 20th century, World War II was the 40s, Enlightenment was like 1700s. Another thing that's interesting is like, the AP exam that I spent all year preparing for was 1200 to present day. And this exam is only 1750 to present day. So I imagine if it's like I keep comparing this to AP, but like it's the only other exam I've done like this. And like this would have asked about like, is about like the trading period of like Silk Road or Indian Ocean trade. It's like all of these feel very recent, but technically the Enlightenment is like the earliest thing they can ask us about, which is quite crazy. Alright, back to Winston Churchill talking about communism. Which organization formed in response to the situation Churchill described? The EU, no? Or is it NATO? No, NATO. No. Oh my god, I almost got that one wrong. EU is the 90s. That was much more recent. NATO is the military organization in response to communism. League of Nations was grouping countries together like the UN does today between both world wars. And the Alliance of Central Powers, I don't know if that's for World War I and World War II, but it's the Central Powers, not Churchill. Not Britain. So, what action was taken as a result of testimonies like these documents? Child labor laws were passed. This is not talking about slavery. It's not talking about inventions. And World War I has nothing to do with our factories. I mean, it does, but not in this context. So, yeah. In this cartoon, the Chinese are reacting to the... Oh, I get it now. I understand. That makes more sense. All of these countries are dividing up China. This is China being mad about it. And so, like, I need to see this picture better. This one on the right here is Japan then? And then what would this be? This would be like Britain, Russia, and France or something like that? I don't know, but this is China, and they're mad. I see. Process of imperialism. All the countries try to take more land of China. Which document did the passage most heavily influence? This is talking about Montesquieu once again. Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen. Magna Carta is not in this time period. What the hell? This exam, that's before the AP exam time. Magna Carta, if I'm not wrong, was like the 1000s. Communist Manifesto is Karl Marx. Closing of Japan was not like the opposite of Enlightenment ideas. It's against spreading ideas, so this is the French one. I don't remember if Montesquieu was French or not, but this declaration is French. What later development would change a political situation shown on the map? What's the political situation? Oh, League of Nations? World War II, but... Political situation. Oh, you mean like the fact that Britain's large and then it becomes not large? Well... I remember learning this name. I just don't remember what this is. So I'm gonna hope that's not right. Communist Revolution, China is not in here. Yeah, so these two are both talking about China, which is unrelated because China is not in Britain. So Gandhi's India area. How many questions are there about Montesquieu and his idea? I mean, there's a very easy questions. I like the Enlightenment ideas one. They're very like, all the Enlightenment ideas are very like easy to grasp, I feel like. So I mean, I'll take it. One historical development that resulted from the ideas expressed here was the end of feudalism, but also the French Revolution. I don't know what the Glorious Revolution is, and it's not the Cultural Revolution. I'm gonna go with the French Revolution. Oh, it is. Wait. Yeah, this is talking about separation of powers, so... Overall ideas, I guess, would be... This is one where, like, all of them are technically Enlightenment ideas. I don't know what the third one is, but... But yeah, French Revolution talks specifically about separation of powers as well. A historian... Oh, so last question. Here we go. Okay. A historian would find this excerpt most useful for... This is the Gandhi one again, against Britain. Historian finds this most useful for... This is about the Congo. The rest are actually about Britain. Exploring the viewpoints of Muslims? No. Understanding the views of Indian nationalists? Which is right, because Gandhi was an Indian nationalist. It doesn't talk about economic benefits. Alright, so those are all 28 questions, I believe. We are... I think that's halfway through the test within half an hour. Yeah, this test is not that bad. I'm gonna look at chat again, just take like a second before I move on to the next part. Bro, it's nothing like the AP exam. Yeah, I noticed that. Oh, Asher's someone I know in person. Asher, you took AP World, so you... Alright, sorry, AP... What's it called? Euro. So you don't know what the world exam was like. Maybe this is exactly how the world... Maybe the world exam is actually a billion times easier than Euro. Central Powers is World War I. That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I actually didn't check what the rest of this exam looks like. I don't know what happens when I click next. Oh, okay. Well, that's just that. Okay. So, chat, here's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna pull up... So, for those who are joined since I started taking this test already, I had a interactive test ready to go, and then it stopped working. I don't know if it got, like, shut down or something, or what happened. But, so what we're going to do instead is pull up this, or actually, I can do this here. Pull up this and, sorry, this and this. I'm gonna actually have to switch the order. So, I know it looks a little uglier, and we're just gonna have to deal with that. But, hold on, this actually is not. Give me a second. Let me make that look nicer for y'all. Give me 1 moment, because I wasn't prepared to do this on stream, but... Okay, that should look better. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna put them in... Well, I can't put them in full screen is the issue, but it's okay. Okay, so, for this next part of the exam, for those who don't know, there are two parts of, I'm gonna open a Google Doc first, just so this looks nicer. And then I'm gonna make this larger so it's easier to see. Set 1. And set 2 will be later. So this part of the exam works like this, for those who don't know. You should know if you're here, because you're probably taking the exam tomorrow. But there's going to be some stimulus, and it's going to ask short answer questions. Let me actually find it here. Go to the top. I can actually just read off this. Short answer for the response. You're going to, for each part here, you need to, like, either identify or explain, which means either you just give the name for something, in which case it's a one-sentence answer, or explain, which then you can kind of yap. But also, our teacher showed us, like, the answer key, and you can get away with writing very little and still getting full credit on some of these questions. So I'm not gonna worry too much. The main thing you don't want to do is, like, get the grader annoyed. For grading-wise, I'm probably gonna use ChatGPT to grade it. But, yeah. So. Oh, it gives me the structure. I didn't know it does that. Okay, so the first one's gonna give me... So, set 1's gonna give me document, or context, and then source, and then relationship. And same for the second one. Okay. Alright. Here we go. Alright, I'm just gonna get started then. It's not working. Okay, set 1. Q29. Okay, so document 1. The attack on the Bastille prison in Paris is seen in many of the perfect major violence in the French Revolution. This is a very famous picture. Explain the historical circumstances that led to the painting showing below. Well, the thing is, like, if it was an AP answer, I'd give, like, a full answer, like an SAQ type answer. But here, I can just write, like, the majority of citizens were not given proper representation in government. What else do I need to say? That's kind of it, right? The majority, because I don't have to yap, I don't have to use filler words. The majority of citizens were not given proper representation in the French government, if they want to specify. In the French government. It's kind of it. And I'm actually just gonna write that. And then I can see the rating guide later on as well. Actually, I don't need ChatGPT. I'll look at the rating guide. Okay. Where's question 30? Oh, basic document 2, okay. John Paul is a radical revolutionary who wrote political journals in Paris from 1789 until his death in 1793. His journal, The French Republic, was published daily in one of the 100 journals that emerged during this period. This article was published 2 days after the execution of King Louis XVI. What's the question? It's always good, I think, to read the question before the excerpt so you know what you're looking at when you're reading the excerpt. Based on the excerpt, explain Marat's... Is he the author? Yeah. Marat's point of view regarding the effect of King Louis XVI's execution as have on political development outside France. Oh, will have on political development outside France. Okay. Got it. Q30. The head of the tyrant has just fallen under the sword of the law. The same blow of termination. It's annoying because it's asking for like an opinion, so I actually have to read it. The rest of the day was perfectly calm for the first time since the Federation of People sees joy. Where does it talk about other countries? Oh, this last paragraph. The execution of King Louis XVI, far from troubling the peace of the state of France, will only serve to strengthen it, not only by containing the internal enemies through terror, but also external enemies. It will also give the nation new strength to push back against ferocious hordes of foreign henchmen who would dare bear arms against it. For there is no going back, and this is the position we find ourselves in today. We must win or perish, a palpable truth that Cambon, member of the Legislative Assembly, rendered in the sublime image when he said to the Tribune the day before yesterday, "We have finally docked on the Isle of Freedom, and we have burned the vessel that brought us there." Wait. And burn the vessel that got us there. Okay. Yeah. So, on political developments outside of France, it doesn't talk all that much about outside of France. The execution of King Louis XVI is one of those memorable events that will mark an epoch in the history of nations. It will have a vast influence on the fate of despots. Forgot what it's called. I learned this word in like October of the school year, and then I forgot it. Despots of the Empire of Europe. Despots of Europe will not get broken in chains. Okay, so his point of view, Marat's point of view is that other... I'm kind of confused. I might get one wrong. That other nations... will have a harder time... well... I'm confused on what, like, because he doesn't say that much about things outside of Europe. So I kind of don't know what this answer is, like, looking for me, you know? Because, like, I could yap about what I think happened, but that's not what the question is asking. So I guess this pair. All it says is there'll be a vast influence. It doesn't say what the influence is. Is that the execution will have a large effect on oppressed people in Europe, I guess. Like, and on those people who have not yet broken their chains. There's people in Europe, and cause other monarchies to potentially end or be overthrown. It's not my best answer, but it might get the job done. We'll see the rating guide afterwards. Okay, and then we have the comparing question between the two documents. As a reminder, the first document was the fall of Bastille, and the second one was about the execution of King Louis XVI. Identify and explain a cause and effect relationship between the events and or ideas. Hold up. Effect refers to what happens as a consequence. Let's define the word. Okay. Identify and explain a cause and effect relationship between the events or ideas found in these documents. Be sure to use evidence from both documents when choosing response. Cause and effect? I mean, they both happened because of Enlightenment ideas. But I guess you could say that the falling of the prison led people to be more open to killing a king. Okay, sure. Document 1 shows the people of France, how do I phrase this? Like toppling a prison. Attacking the attacking a building of the government as a sign of discontent and starting the French Revolution. I'm gonna say sign of discontent. This led to the French Revolution. The French Revolution, it didn't end with the execution of King Louis XVI, right? It went past 93. I know there's definitely like some Euro kids who are in chat right now who are like tweaking out probably, or if they watch this back or something. But ooh. I think I'm just gonna, I don't know. I don't want to say something historically incorrect because I don't get it wrong. But, like, I know the general idea. The French Revolution, I'm going to say which included the execution of King, how do you spell his name? Louis the 16th. Does it ask for like a comparison? Cause and effect relationship. Yeah. Because of the Enlightenment ideals that opposed monarchy. That's kind of a badly phrased question, but I feel like I said enough buzzwords to get the point. All right, set 2. We're on to. I'm gonna do it in all caps actually. Set 2. I wrote 2. Where did my music go? There we go. All right, what is this one gonna be about? Please be like Cold War. I know a lot about that. Colonialism. Fine. Alright, Q32. Base your answer. Okay, explain the historical circumstances that led to the developments. Colonialism changed African societies in significant ways. For example, the colonial rulers shifted the focus of African economies toward trade with Europe and What? Colonialism changed African societies in significant ways. Oh my god, I can't read. For example, colonial rulers shifted the focus of African economies toward trade with Europe. Am I tripping? For example, colonial rulers shifted the focus of African economies toward trade with Europe. Oh, okay. And grouped diverse and hostile societies within new colonial borders. But this period was not a complete departure from those before it. Relationships between Europeans and Africans stretched back hundreds of years. But it talks about this whole context for me. What made the 19th century different was the Europeans wanted to take away African sovereignty, the rights of Africans. Okay. In the centuries leading up to the what's the vocab word for it? To the scramble for Africa. That's the word. For Africa, European powers exploited Africa or its resources and people to further their empires and economies. That's probably a good enough answer. I could yap more about like how that led to that, but I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Alright, Q33. Oh my goodness, it's a song. That's new. I've never seen a song be a document before. Harsh repression in African political activities made written African primary sources rare. The Song of Africa was composed in 1957 by Kenyan political activists who were imprisoned by the British and provides an African perspective. Josiah, fellow prisoner, published the song. Okay, based on the excerpt, explain Josiah who published its purpose for publishing the song. Okay. Well, okay, so what is this song? Should I try singing it, chat? I can't sing, but, you know. Nah, I shouldn't. It'd be funny, though. But I shouldn't. God gave to black people this land of Africa. Praise the God who dwells in high places for his blessings. And the chorus. God, I love having a chorus in this song. It's a proper song. We will continue in our prayers of the land of Africa, from east to west, from north to south. After much suffering, the country of Egypt was delivered from bondage and received freedom. Definitely not the tune, and also definitely can't sing, but fire song. I mess with it. What was the purpose? Like, to just vibe out. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's not even really related to the song, which kind of like just for the sake of like African decolonization. The purpose of publishing was to show the world, I guess, that well, how would I phrase it? The purpose of publishing is to show the world that African societies deserve independence. That's kind of it, right? I mean, like, I don't know the dude's, like, internal motivations. I just know that, like, he wanted Africa to be free, and this song's about Africa being free. Independence, and that the British have been treating them poorly. I'm not gonna say the British, I'm gonna say the Europeans, because there's technically more Europeans out there. Yeah, I'm chill with that. Alright, Q34, the compare and contrast question. Oh, there's an A and a B, I forgot. You're right. Alright, using both evidence from document 1 and document 2, identify a turning point directly associated with historical developments, and then explain a turning point you identify occurring. What? Identify a turning point directly associated with the historical developments found in both documents 1 and 2. So a turning point. But it's also explain how the turning point identified created significant change using documents 1 and document 2. Alright, well a turning point for these was the what's it called? Berlin Conference? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Berlin Conference. Because that is when in, 1884? I'm fairly certain that yours right. In 1884, a bunch of European powers came together and were like, let's actually divide up Africa and take it for our own, instead of just exploiting the resources. Let's make it officially part of our empire. So that is a turning point. And then Q34B. I don't know how, would you write it as, one sentence? Because, there's one area of writing for both A and B, so I don't know how you'd write that on the actual exam, but whatever. The Berlin Conference also came in clutch, for my DBQ on the AP exam. It was sort of my, what's it called? My outside evidence. So, good to see the Berlin Conference hard carrying both my history exams. Always nice to see. Alright, okay, so, how would I explain it? Create a significant change. The conference, which included all the European powers, officially divided up Africa into separate territories. Okay, I can spell territories, but not separate. We divided up Africa into separate territories, rather than anyone using, or anyone, I'm gonna say exploiting their resources as previously seen. After this turning point, I would say oppression in Africa increased. Oh, I have to use evidence from both document 1 and 2. I kind of forgot there were documents. What's something here? Increased as African sovereignty was taken away. And document 2, what's a line from this song I could use? And people's rights, human rights, were impeded upon. Yeah, that works. I don't know if that's too long of an answer. Impeded, though. I don't know if it's too long of an answer, but that should be fine. Alright, that is all for the short answer. Now it's time for the essay. Okay, chat, let me come back here for a second. I'm looking here again. Okay, so, dude, we did all of the questions except for the essay in 50 minutes. And that included so much extra yap that I wouldn't have had to do otherwise. So, the essay is certainly the most annoying part, and I don't really want to write it, but I'm already streaming, so we're doing it anyway. We will be doing it anyway. I did want to shout out TRG Dev. Your alert wasn't coming up, and I figured out why, so now I can replay it. TRG, thanks for subscribing. Woo! Yay! Yippee! Woo! I don't even know if you're still here. You haven't been chatting. You might have left. But it is time for the thing. So I'm not 100% clear on this essay yet. I feel like I haven't mastered it fully because I did miss some class periods that kind of went over how to structure it and everything. But the general understanding I have is the intro should have historical context and then a thesis statement. And then you'll have like 2 or 3 probably like 2 body paragraphs talking about different like subcategories of the main enduring issue. So I should like find 3 different sub issues in the main issue that it tries to bring. And this can be very specific. Like I did a practice thesis, like a practice outline for an exam, for like an essay, in class. On Friday? No. Yeah, on Friday, not on Monday. The second last day of school we had. And it was about conflict was the enduring issue, which I feel like is probably the easiest one. And subcategories were like oppression of human rights and like prisons, and like it's very specific. So if I ever feel like I'm getting too specific, it's my teacher's fault, not mine. I take no responsibility. Alright, let's get started with this essay. I'm gonna also make a new document. Docs.new. Here we go. And then make this size 30 again. Alright, enduring issues essay. I've also, the essay is the only thing I haven't done a full practice for as well, so it's my first time doing it, so if it's bad, we'll see. I think this essay I might have ChatGPT grade as well. The essay cues, I'll look at the rating guide and kind of make my own decision, but I don't think I can make my own decision over an essay I just wrote, so. Okay, is chat set up and everything? Yeah, okay. Okay, with 2 hours and 6 minutes left, I'm definitely not using all this time, but let's do the frickin' essay! Okay, sorry, things are like falling apart. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take notes in the documents as well. Document 1 is, okay, starting off strong, not a piece of text. Emmeline Pankhurst was a suffragist in Britain in 1914. This whole essay is gonna be about, what's it called? Rights, and like getting more rights. That's my guess from this. Okay, so women's rights. Women's rights, voting rights is the general vibe from here. Britain, early 20th century. Cool. Document number 2 is actual writing. 1919, Ho Chi Minh petitioned Allied leaders in Paris Peace Conference. This petition was rejected. He founded the Communist Party in Vietnam in 1930. Oh, wow. Okay. What did he say? While waiting for the principle of national self-determination to pass a deal. French Indochina. Oh, because Vietnam was part of French Indochina. Yeah. Presidents and noble governments. What? Oh, things he proposed for? I see. Reform of Indo-Chinese justice by granting the native population the same judicial guarantees Europeans have. Ooh, okay. Native rights in Asia. Total suppression of special courts, which are instruments of terrorism. Okay, I'm gonna write, like, judicial system is oppressive. And then freedom of, I'm just gonna write the exact same thing, freedom of press and speech. And then oh, interesting, freedom of association and assembly is different. In the US, freedom of press, speech, association, and assembly are all the First Amendment. So I'm just gonna write basically First Amendment rights. I'm taking APUSH and AP Gov both next year as well, so gotta get in that mindset. I'm also probably gonna do an APUSH and AP Gov practice exam sometime this summer on stream for the funsies. So you gotta make sure you know those amendments. Gotta make sure you know it. Okay, that's document 2. Document 3. Oh my god. Oh, there's so much writing. Are all of them, the rest of them writing? They are. Yikes. I like the first one a lot more. Okay, document 3. Declaration of Purna Swaraj was written in the Indian National Congress and publicly declared. We believe that it is an inalienable right of the Indian people, as of any other people, to have freedom and enjoy fruits of their toil and the necessities of life, to have full opportunities. We also believe that if any government deprives people of working citizen rights and oppresses them, people. Oh, okay. So what's it called? What's that word again? Social contract. What else? Also believe that if a government is deprived... Oh, yeah. British government, India is not only been deprived of Indian... I'm just gonna also add here. I'm just gonna say... Britain, Vietnam, India. Because it is separated by countries more than I expected it to be. Okay, and then we hold it to be a crime against men and God to submit any longer than rule country. We recognize, however, that the most effective way of gaining our freedom is not through violence. Okay, non-violence. Non-violent, what's it called? What's the word for, like, protest? I'm just gonna say protest. I don't know if this is my own notes. I'm not gonna think about it too hard. We're convinced that if we can withdraw voluntary help and stop payment of taxes. Cool. Okay. Document 4. What country are we in this time? After gaining freedom from Tsarist rule in 1918, Estonia was caught in the middle of a war, World War II, between Germany and the Soviet Union. This comment ended with the Soviet Union once again annexing Estonia. Okay, Estonia. I don't think I've heard the words Estonia come out of my teacher all year, so this will be fun. Song has been a cherished Estonian form of expression, a way to hold their national character. Okay. As long ago as 1869, Estonians gathered in mass choirs singing to celebrate the cultural uniqueness. Later, during the Soviet era, a brave choir master, Gustav, had the nerve in 1947 as lead singers Estonia's unofficial national anthem. Oh. Wait, why is that bad? Is that a bad thing to say? Why is that bad? That a Russian leader is leading Estonia's song? Did he choose the song? Is that why? Is that why we're mad? Okay, sure. I'll go. I can see that. I can see that vision. Yeah, that's bad, I guess. No, it is like actually bad though. It's not like I was joking. Finally, as the USSR began to crumble, the Estonians went mobilized again, using songs to demand independence. In 1988, they gathered 300,000 strong, a third of the population. Locals vividly recall singing in folk costumes. Next year, people of Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia held hands. Damn, 400 miles? That's crazy. Some feared of a Tiananmen Square type bloodbath, but Estonians just kept singing. Cool. What do I even write? This is like a very different one than all the other ones. All the other ones talked about the violence. This is like about the rights violations. This is like about like how they ended it. Okay, so I would say oppressive, or I would say like country annexation. It's very different from the other ones. Singing revolution. Okay, sure. I don't really know what to do with that document. That's a kind of a weird one. But we go on. Alright, document 5 is Tiananmen Square. Speak to the devil. They just talked about it in the last document. Alright, just talk about what the Tiananmen Square is. 6 days after the death of Hu Yaobang, the deposed reform-minded leader of the Chinese Communist Party, some 100,000 students gathered in Beijing's Tiananmen Square to commemorate Hu and the voice of discontent of China's authoritative communist government. I'm gonna write anti-communist / would you consider him fascist? Not really. Dictator? Shit. Phrase it like that. Okay. They actually use their own words. So I'm gonna use the words they gave me. Authoritarianism. Next day, an official memorial service of Hugh was held in Tiananmen Square. And students represented. Other students representatives carried a petition into the steps of the Great Hall, demanding to meet with Premier Liu Peng. Let me put my music back on 1 second. Ignoring government warnings of violent suppression by the mass demonstration, students boarded Ford University began to march Tiananmen Square. The students were joined by workers, intellectuals, servicemen, and by mid-May, more than a million. Oh, so this is like a several-day type thing. I see. Filled the square at the site of the communist leader Mao Zedong's proclamation of China. On May 20th, the government formally declared martial law. However, large students and civilians blocked the army's advance. On May 23rd, government forces pulled back. That was Beijing. That's actually so sick. Like, I already knew about Tiananmen Square, but like, damn. I already know what it is, so I can just kind of write Tiananmen Square and go from there. Tiananmen Square. I always spell it wrong. I was reading off of this. Okay, how much time did I spend on that? 13 minutes. That's not that bad. Alright. So, this is where I get a little... Oh, this is the essay requirements. I do get the essay requirements. So this is the part where I get a little confused because I wasn't in class. I didn't know my teacher explained it. Essay requirements: at least 3 documents, but you should use 5. I'm pretty sure. Or like I guess I'll try to use at least 4. Which document can be used to develop the explanation for this? Which document can be used to develop the explanation for this issue? Okay. Has the issue significantly affected people or been affected by people? Okay. Has the issue endured over time? Oh, I remember. Oh my god, that just saved me. I remember now. Okay, so the intro is about historical context. The first body paragraph is talking about just kind of talking about documents, kind of like explaining what types of rights were being violated, I guess, in this example. And then the second body paragraph is either change or continuity. It's kind of annoying that you can't do both. I think you get points off if you do both, or it's harder to get points if you do both. Because for AP World, you did need to do both, and I kind of got so used to that mindset. And so I feel like they kind of go hand in hand as well. It's kind of hard to talk about change without continuity. Kind of hard to talk about continuity without change. But we'll figure it out. We'll work with it. Okay, so let us get started. I should probably split this up into categories. Oh, I also need my outside evidence. What other... Oh, apartheid. South Africa. Light work. Yeah, I can talk about that as well. So, these are all in the 20th century. So I feel like change is kind of hard to do. Because the earliest one here is 1914. And the latest one is probably Estonia. Right? Or, sorry. Oh, I'm in the old documents. Hold up. Estonia in... No, this is earlier. Yeah, no, it's more, I think China's later. Is this in order? Oh, is this in chronological order? It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is in chronological order. 1914, 1930, like 50s and 60s, 70s, 80s. This is 89. Yeah. Okay, so, how am I gonna... I kind of don't really want to write an essay right now. But I should, so we'll do it. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with... I'm just gonna start writing. You know what? I'm just gonna start a new page and start writing. Intro. I need historical context and a thesis. So, historical context. The Enlightenment and its ideas. I'm gonna make this smaller just because it's like essay ready. It's still readable on stream, right? Oh, very much so. I'm gonna make it smaller than that even. Yeah. Alright, Enlightenment and its ideas. Its ideas were centered around equal rights and non-oppressive governments. This was followed by several revolutions to implement these ideas into government, such as the French, Haitian, and American revolutions. I don't think R should be capitalized there. I don't know how long this essay needs to be. I haven't seen a practice essay. Enlightenment and its ideas were centered around equal rights of non-oppressive governments. It was followed by several revolutions and ideas in the government, such as French Revolution, Haitian, and American. However, in the 18th and 19th centuries, there was still a lot of inequality and I don't want to use oppression again. Inequality and governments exerting extreme control over its people. With the transatlantic slave trade, and I don't know if I should be giving outside evidence in my intro, because like I'm gonna have actual outside evidence, but like I might want to have outside evidence like for context as well. Well, actually, I don't think I need more evidence here. I'm pretty sure this essay is supposed to be on the shorter side, if I understood my teacher correctly. So, yeah, I'm gonna go back to this real quick as well. Oh, we need one or two. I need more than one outside information. Okay. Let me actually think another one. It has to be 19th century, because that's be the same time period. Actually, no, I don't. I can talk about continuity. I can talk about how, like, there's a lot of oppression and movement of people without their consent in the transatlantic slave trade, and that could still be seen. Actually... I actually might want to change, because you know what I could do? I could do, like, there used to be a lot more, like, I don't want to phrase it. I guess I could say, like, there used to be a lot more, like, overt, oversteps of people's human rights, like the transatlantic slave trade, and that transitioned more into, like, people not being able to choose their governments, even in Western countries, like in Document 1. And then, what you end up seeing is, like, Western countries become very, like, liberal and, like, enlightenment-y on this idea, while, like, the communist dictatorship countries, like, suppress... It's kind of hard to say, though. I don't know how I would phrase it, is the thing. I don't know how I would phrase it. I don't know. Well, you know, I could, like, I think what could be interesting is, you know, actually, I think what I'll do is I'll kind of write from the heart, and then once we get there, I'll be more, I'll figure it out then. Okay, so I need a thesis statement. What's a good, I don't know how these thesis statements should look. I would say, inequality, okay, once the 20th century arrived, inequality caused by governments was done through, I want to say suppression of speech. What else? Suppression of speech. Development 2 is kind of interesting. Freedom of speech. Suppression of speech. I want to say like colonization or like I want a word for like unsovereignty, you know? Colonization, I guess is how I'd phrase that. Colonization and removing sovereignty. I'm just gonna say removing sovereignty. Because there I can talk about Estonia, obviously, and India, maybe Vietnam, but it's like a maybe. I need 3, right? Suppression of speech, removing sovereignty. No, what's a third one? Because all of them suppress speech. But I guess you could also say, like, not being able to choose arrested. There's a place in Britain called Constitution Hill. That's funny. We in America of Constitution Avenue, near the White House. Okay, I'm gonna say suppression of speech, removing sovereignty, and blocking voter rights. Although I don't really know how I can talk about that, because like, whatever. I'll go with it. Okay, so I believe I kind of forgot what the first paragraph was supposed to be about. There's like a specific way that it's supposed to be organized. I guess I can talk about like, because it does ask for like how big it was, the scope and size. I can talk about scope and like how big it was and how much people it affected. This one. And then the second paragraph is supposed to be change of continuity. When does this one come in? I guess that happens anyway, but yeah. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna start with talking about significance. So know how many words I'm supposed to use, but how much room am I given on this page to write? Or is it a 7-piece of paper? It's a 7-piece of paper, isn't it? Yeah, 7-piece of paper. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with oppressive governments have affected almost every part of the world throughout history, meaning many millions of people have been affected. I'll say millions and even billions of people have been affected. One way governments suppressed their own people was by not allowing them to speak out. Should I say based on should I mention documents specifically, or maybe not? I don't know. I guess I won't, because I don't know if I should or not. Okay, so I can say like, I guess this is a good way to start. For example, while Estonia was under Soviet, Russian, and Soviet rule, they were, how do they phrase it? Like, they were just, like, not allowed to sing, or what was the... Okay. Russian rule, they were afraid to speak out or use their culture of song to speak out against against the annexation of their land. This continued to was seen in other parts of the world as well, such as the Tiananmen. I spelled it wrong this time. I told you I was worried about spelling it wrong. Square incidents in China in 1989, where students, among other protesters, spoke out against their government for this was prohibited for many decades and was attempted to be shut down by the military. This shows how much governments did not want to, how much, I'm gonna say oppressive, how much governments who stole rights from their people didn't want those people speaking out, as it would undermine their authority. Anything else I want to add? I mentioned document 5 and 4. I might want to use one more. I also don't have to. Should I bring up one of my outside evidences? Why is this grayed out? I don't know why it's grayed out. I don't know if, like, you're not supposed... Oh, but that's, like, for the intro, kind of, I guess. So, this is fair game to use, is what I'm hearing. This argument is supposed to be talking about the issue of how people have been affected. So... I'm actually gonna... First, I'm gonna turn my music back on. And then I can actually... I'm gonna add one more thing. I'm gonna talk about one of my other things as well. Which was removing sovereignty. I'm gonna make a third paragraph. So this one's gonna be about, but suppression didn't only happen inside of a country, but between them. And the examples I'm going to use for this is going to be not document 1, but document 2, document 3, and I could use document 4 again if I want. Okay. Yeah. A prime example is the case of French Indochina, a part of which later became Vietnam. Okay. So I can say, like, Ho Chi Minh, who later created the Communist Party of what would become Vietnam, advocated for more rights in French Indochina when he pledged his case in the Paris Peace Conference. He mentioned how the people were not free to, did not have the freedom of press, speech, association, and assembly. All freedoms that any Westerner today would take for granted. Another case in Asia is India, which was under British control for much of the 20th century. I kind of want to do more work after stream, just kind of like to check how a test would normally look, because I feel like I'm kind of yapping, but I also feel like I'm not writing enough at the same time. You know what I mean? So, hopefully I'm doing okay. And I have no clue what chat's thinking too. I don't know if anyone's typing or if anyone's thinking anything. Okay. 20th century. A declaration from a Congress member in 1930. What was in there again? India social contract. Yeah. Talked about the Enlightenment's idea of the social contract. The social contract states that a government needs to follow the will of the people to remain in power with peace, and that the British were doing the opposite. India at the time was one of the fastest growing regions. Is that true? I know it's definitely true in the late 20th century. I don't know about the early 20th century. I'm gonna write India was soon to be one of the fastest growing regions in terms of population. So, and citizens as well as Indians in power were already mentioning how this oppressive system was unsustainable. Okay. I feel like that's kind of too much writing almost, but I'm gonna go with it. Yeah. Yeah. Do I need outside evidence here? I don't think so. What was my intro again? Blocking the hurts. Right, mainly caused. Or was mainly done. Okay, now the paragraph about continuity or change. I have to decide, am I doing continuity or am I doing change? I don't know. Oh, if only I could look at chat, one of y'all could give me an idea. But I simply do not know. I think, because I'm trying to think about what would be, like, easiest, you know? Like, what, like, would be a more convincing essay? And I think what makes more sense intuitively, I was kind of hoping that it would come to me when I finished that sentence. I think I'm gonna go continuity. The ways in which inequality occurred over time has a lot of continuity. Wait, but the transatlantic slave trade is not in the right time period. I can't even use that. Shoot, it's not before. I forgot. It's not before 1750. Well, it's an example after 1750, like between like 1750 to 1850. French Revolution. Tough. Even in the years leading to the French Revolution, the main drivers of oppression by the government was lack of power. Both physically and in government. Both, I'm gonna say, both through speech and in government. This continued throughout the 19th and 20th century, despite the Enlightenment-based revolutions reforming some Western countries. This shouldn't be okay. However, even in these Western countries, some form of oppression was still present. For example, many countries, including Britain, did not allow women the right to vote. No. This means that half of the entire population was not given the freedom to express their opinions over who runs their nation, let alone all the other factors such as race that blocked many from voting. Did I mention every document already? Yes. 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 Okay. As the century progressed, many fascist and authoritarian states rose, continuing the cycle of inequality. As previously mentioned, the people of French Indochina were not allowed to speak out against their annexation, or not say annexation, their colonization, let alone assemble into mass protests or report on it in the news. Even past is the South African apartheid present day? I guess not, because like it ended in the 90s. So it's kind of like a 50-50, because like I don't know what counts as like, I don't know what counts, you know, because I'm gonna bring it up as like I'm gonna say near present day, even in recent history. These same ideas still. That's a conclusion. I think I'm gonna talk about South Africa here, and then I'll bring up other. The thing is, if I get too recent, then I'll start to get controversial, and I don't want to get my grader mad at me. You know, like I don't think Israel-Palestine is like the best thing to talk about here. Is Ukraine Russia okay? Because I feel like talking about a 2014 annexation of like Crimea is a pretty good one, you know. But okay, so let's talk about even in recent history, countries have separated people into classes of rights. There was oppression of natives, women, and even race, as best seen in the South African apartheid, which only ended 3 decades ago. And then I'll add here, that should not be that. I feel like an exclamation mark making it feels too unprofessional. Okay, and then a conclusion, I just say why it's still relevant today, right? I should talk about like how it's still an issue and we need to keep working. Okay, so I can say like, even, I'm gonna say, while many governments and countries have gotten much better at upholding the Enlightenment ideas of the social contract and a representative government, inequality is still seen all around the world. Today, the most powerful class is the wealthy, who use their power to, the majority of which use their wealth to, don't you give examples? Because I don't know if Elon Musk is the best person to talk about, so not be controversial. The majority of which use their wealth to only help themselves, making the poor even poorer. Even in Western countries, I don't know if I should name people. Because I could say even in Western countries, like, figures such as, I don't know, like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, I guess, with like Amazon. I'm gonna write it, and then I'm gonna call my friends after stream and ask. Yeah. Even in Western countries, figures, but they're both American. I want a non-American example. Elon Musk and, well, Elon Musk is technically South African. Elon Musk and, I'm trying to think someone like British or Indian. I don't think I know that many millionaires or billionaires outside of America. You know what? Forget it. I'm gonna not, and then it does say outside evidence for this section. No, that's actually over time. It's not the conclusion, so I guess I won't. or even poorer. There are also still dictatorships in the present day, with countries such as North Korea and... Do I say China? No. I think if I say China, I have to, like, explain myself, and that will get controversial. So I'm gonna say North Korea. Oh, I could also say some Middle East country. That feels more controversial than China. I'm gonna write North Korea. That feels like a pretty easy one. I feel like the New York people who grade me will not get mad about North Korea. They might about China, or like if I say like Israel or Iran or something. North Korea, fully block rights of movement, speech, and speech, while starving their people. Speech and starving their population as the government officials experience a lavish lifestyle. Should I end it with like a message of like, we've done a lot, we have a lot to do? I guess I can be a little cheesy here. How much time do I have left for this test? 1:16. And that's like including time that I took just kind of yap earlier. It's pretty good. I'll make good time for the test. Alright, so I can say like, experience of lifestyle. We have come a long way from the pre-enlightenment. My music again. There we go. We've come a long way from the pre-enlightenment governments that used monarchies to exert power over its people. But we still have a long way to go before equality can truly be seen all across the world. And chat, with that, we have, sorry for this dramatic build-up, finished
you might know
our
is performance
exam. Chat, we're done, we are done. Woo! Welcome everyone who has joined. I have not been able to look at chat while I was doing my test, so thank y'all for joining. Scholar, you're for AP World Exam, welcome back. I see a pattern here, a very history-oriented person. The PATS DBQ is kind of rough. Which DBQ did you have? Because most people had the African transportation communication ones, what I had. But I heard some people also had, like, a pirates one? Which is strange, because we didn't learn about pirates, like, weird one. But, I don't know. I feel like the DBQ definitely caught me a little surprised, because it was not units 3 or 4 like expected. But I'm sure he did fine. I'm going to be checking my score on stream when results come out. I believe there's a day for it. I'm pretty sure it's July 4th? Is it the 4th of July the results come out? July 7th. July 7th. July 7th, I'll be streaming live. I'll be looking over all my AP exam results. I'm sure you did fine. Your name's in blue. I can't see it. Poke Ash Edits. Hello, welcome. Hopefully this is helpful. For all of y'all, hopefully this is helpful for everyone. To see kind of in the mind of what the average person thinks while taking this exam, or like, sorry, 1 second, or like see what like somebody may be thinking during an exam, see what they could do better. And I'm also definitely be asking people questions, like my friends, leading up to tomorrow. So with that, I think I can view my score for everything. I'm gonna start off with. I don't need my 3-hour timer anymore. I can put this away. I'll let it play out. Whatever. Starting off with Google 3. Yeah. So, the max points I can get here is 28. We'll see how many I got. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a good start. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No wrong yet. We're over halfway. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Chat! We got it all right! Damn! I did not think I had that in me. Full credit. That's crazy. Okay. That gives me confidence. 28 out of 28 definitely gives me confidence. Cool. That's good to know. Alright. That's cool. No, I was gonna, like, spend time looking over the answers I got wrong, but never mind, I guess. I actually do need to move my timer for the sake of you being able to see everything here. There should be a rating guide where I can see, like, if my answers are correct or not. I believe it should be here somewhere. June 2024, rating guide. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So, this, like, basically gives you all, like, the potential answers. So, 29. 29, I said the majority of citizens were not given proper representation in the French government. Unfair taxation. I don't know if I wrote enough. Oh, okay. Wait, I also want to pull up the, Global Regents, curve. Well, this is not. Grading rubric. I guess this is the most recent one. So, okay, I see. So, to pass, you need a 60. So, anything in the green or more you need. So, the most... Okay, so I already got 28 of part 1 right. So, already the lowest I can get is a 71. 5. I'm actually going to say I got 29 wrong. I need to be more specific. So... Right, I'm right at the bottom, actually. So, actually good to know, because I would have written the same thing on the exam, so... Need more specific details. 1 is wrong. Okay. But also, that's not like... I didn't say this, though. I said more than that. I don't know if I would have gotten the point or not. I'm gonna... For this rating, I'm gonna err on the side of incorrect whenever I'm not sure. Just like I know. You know? Alright, 30, I said that the execution will have a large effect on oppressed people in Europe and cause monarchies to potentially end or be overthrown. Yeah, future tyrants of other nations will be removed. I think just based on that, I get the point. So I'm gonna, based on that, I'll do a check. I don't have a check emoji, so I'm just gonna do check. Or, you know what I can do, actually? This is probably better. This is better. Yeah. Alright, Q30 right, and then Q31, I wrote document 1 shows people of France being attacked by attacking a building, and the government having discontent. This led to the French Revolution, which included execution of the king. Eventually led to... Oh. You don't even have to give any reasoning, just say that one led to the other? Okay. I feel like that's not really answering the question. It's saying why is there a cause and effect, not say there's a cause and effect, but... Yeah, okay, so I got the point for that one. Yeah, we're chilling with that. Alright. Set 2, Q32. I wrote, In the centuries leading up to Scramble for Africa, European powers exploited Africa for its resources and its people to further their empires and economies. Yeah, seek out natural resources, develop their economies. I use both natural resources and economies. I didn't say social Darwinism, but I think I get the point based on this one. Yeah, I also said scramble for Africa. I used all the vocab words and I said the right idea, so I'm gonna give myself a point for that. I should talk about social Darwinism though. Would have been good. All right, Q30. I'm actually gonna make sure chat's not saying anything because I'm not looking at chat right now. No, okay, we're good. Hello, can I go back? Alright, Q33, I said the purpose of publishing was to show the world that African societies deserve independence and that Europeans were treated poorly. I didn't really... This one I'm not sure about my answer, but... Show the problems? Yeah, okay, sure. Potentially. To pass information about independence struggles. Continue for freedom. I'm gonna give myself the point. I think I don't use the exact same words, but it's the same idea. I think the most creators will give me that. I'm trying to be harsh on myself because like this one I got wrong, even though I think I might have gotten that one right anyway. But yeah, for the sake of this. All right, and then QA, I said Berlin Conference, which was not an option. Really? Really? Okay. Because I thought that these were talking about, like, Africans being colonized, not the idea of them being decolonized. Because they didn't happen yet in that time period. But, okay, I guess if they're talking about the wanting of decolonization, I should talk about decolonization. Not just the Berlin Conference. So, I guess that one is going to be wrong. And then I'll write, talk more about future time period. Okay. And then Q34B, I said, the conference, which included European powers, which about oh, can I not get, oh, I can't get B right if I got A wrong, right? I'm actually not sure if I can get B right. Increase African sovereignty. Yeah, because I didn't talk about, like, I thought they were only asking for, like, the first part of what they're saying, not the second part. I guess I didn't talk about the change enough. Yeah, so I don't give myself this either. Yikes. 2 wrong there. 2 wrong there. So I would say, like, I guess feedback would be, like, change includes the second half, or the after. Alright, so on the rating guide, does that count as 1 or 2? It counts as 2. So I got 3 wrong, because these 2 and then the first one. So overall, I got a 32 out of 35 on this part, which so far gets me at the very least a 76, and at the most a 95. Depending on the essay. How do I find the grade for the essay? Oh, here we go. Oh, because it's the rating guide, so it has things here. Okay, so I'm now going to open ChatGPT, and I'm going to put my essay and the rating guide and like the rubric into this. I did this for my AP World, LEQ, and DBQ as well. Or maybe that. I should look at chat as well. Twist Think, welcome to the stream. How am I? I'm good. I just finished a practice test. If you want to see me do it, you can scroll back from the stream. But feeling prepared for tomorrow. I think getting all 28 right multiple choice was definitely a confidence boost. How are you doing? Are you also taking the exam? If you're here, I would assume you are, but who knows? What music's playing right now? Not my stream music, so I'm gonna go back to that. Open this. Yeah, I assume you're here to take the exam, so Good luck to anyone taking the exam tomorrow. I'll say like a whole thing later, but yeah. Can this music turn back on, please? I would like it if it did. Oh my god, double on skill. I used to have YouTube Premium when I had this background music, and now I don't, but there we go. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to be using ChatGPT to grade this, so I'm just going to give this the entire scoring guide. Hello. I wrote a practice essay for the Enduring Issues essay for the Global Regents exam. I'm going to give you the rubric, the documents, and my essay. And I want you to score it. Each will be a separate message. Don't score until I give you the essay. I don't really use ChatGPT, so I hope that I can turn everything in. Rubric. Okay. Rubesh, welcome. You're in India. Oh, so you're not taking the exam. This is the New York exam. For which state is this? This is for New York. This is the New York State exam called the Regents exam. I should probably. That's actually a good point. K Gabiga. Yeah. In the future, I'll make a pinned comment, making sure that people know that this is for New York. But yeah, this is New York. Alright, continuing on with this. ChatGPT seems really okay with me turning in things one at a time. So, here are the documents. Wait, how do I turn in the document if one of them is like a picture? So, all right, let me find it again. It can't copy, right? Document 1 is a picture, so I cannot send it, but it's a newspaper about a British suffragette woman in 1914 being arrested at Buckingham Palace for presenting a petition. And then I can send the rest of the documents here. Here we go. Okay, and then here is the actual essay, and we'll see what it grades me. Here we go. Okay, so if I get a 5 on this, I get a 95. I'm gonna put the scoring rubric back on. This is the scoring guide. I got, for those just joining, I got a 32 out of 35. I did grade myself on the short answer, and I got 100 on the multiple choice, but I gave myself 3 incorrect on the short answer, so I can get a lowest score of 76 and a highest score of 95. Let's see. Let's send it. 4 out of 5. Okay, not bad, not bad, not too bad. Alright, what does it say? So, this meets a 5. This meets a 5. So, that's chill. Evidence from the documents, good. It said I had all of them, so good for that. Outside evidence, Enlightenment, French, American, Haitian, South, North Korea. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted it to see. I actually didn't think about the fact that Enlightenment ideas are outside knowledge, but I guess that's also correct. Although I did want to see the revolutions, the apartheid, the modern dictatorships. And I also wrote fascism, so cool. Organization, cool. What could be improved is the depth of analysis. Okay, give me 3 things. Okay. So it's saying that when references are strong, some treated a bit quickly. Section mostly summary. Okay, so I need to do more analysis and like explain more. So one thing I was worried about is writing too much. I think I kind of barred myself from like fully writing out everything I thought. So that can easily be fixed by just kind of like yapping more during my exam, which I can definitely yap. Second thing was precision of language and writing style. Some phrases are a bit vague. Oh, sure. Okay, so I can like, I should probably say like, the British stopped these people from speaking out. Yeah, okay. Closing paragraph is passionate, could be more concise, trying to with a sharper conclusion. I don't really know what that means, but okay. Transition cohesion. Transition could be smoother. Okay, this does not matter for a grade, but these 2 things actually matter. Depth of analysis and then being less vague. But a 4 out of 5 means that for here, 91. I will take a 91. That is above a 90. I also think that I may have graded a bit harsh on the free write. I think I might have gotten the points for this. I don't know about this, but yeah. And then who knows if ChatGPT graded me correctly. But cool. Yeah, this is a good grade. I'm happy with this one. So with that, chat, it feels kind of weird ending a stream early because we have only been live for 2 hours, a little bit more than that. But before I end, I know we have a lot of new people in here because it's not the time I normally stream and it's not the type of stream I normally do. But we always end off a stream with a, what's it called? A Wordle and a Strands. And today is going to be no different. So before I say my closing thoughts and send everyone off for the exam, let's run a freaking Wordle. Okay, hold up. Let me find the right music. 1 second. Someone chatted here for a second. Hold on. I'm also from India, but it's quite interesting. Cool, yeah. I also, it's cool that there's people who, like, don't even take the exam. They're just, like, interested in how the exam goes. I find that pretty cool as well. My mouse disappeared. It does this sometimes. Oh, my God, bro. Where did my mouse go? This is actually so annoying. Wait, I don't know where my mouse went. Chat. I can't... I can't stream if I don't have my mouse. It's a prank? Yeah. Dude, my computer's pulling a prank on me, Mike. Hello? Mouse. How do I get my mouse back? Yo. Please? Can I need to find where my mouse is to open a new tab. Why is my mouse... Oh, I opened Steam. I didn't want to open Steam. No. This is what happens when you don't have a freaking mouse. Yo. Sorry, chat. Give me a second. Mouse disappeared. Oh, let me just unplug and replug the mouse. That's so smart. Is it back? No, it's not back. That didn't do anything. I thought it would work. Mouse. Mouse settings. I don't know what that means. No. Chat, I have no clue what stream is looking at right now, because I can't go to OBS, but... Hold up. Yo, this is never... The world... Oh, the world today is a prank, really? Alright, well... My mouse isn't working, but... I think I'm just gonna run it. I'm just gonna... put on my music and hope for the best. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Wordle. Can y'all see the Wordle? You can. Okay. if only I can... Oh, I need to find the play button. There we go. Okay. And then I cannot make me bigger because, I can't make me bigger because I can't figure it out. My fault. Good thing this happened earlier, though, and not later, I guess. Alright. Well, tonic, drug, I always do to start off. I think it's gonna be like R-A-N. Is Brandy a word? No. Pran? Oh. Oh, I thought you meant like the Wordle was a prank, not the word is prank. Oh, Korea, don't spoil the Wordle. I mean, it didn't spoil it for me because I'm just dumb, didn't understand you. But don't spoil the Wordle. That's not fun. Alright, strands now. Strands next. If I can... Yo, my mouse is actually gone. There we go. I'm gonna make this bigger for y'all. Actually, I don't think I can, but... Alright, I can't make it bigger because mouse, but we'll keep working. Alright, make it... Wait, but I can't... Okay, I actually cannot do strands without a mouse. Hold up. You're right. I actually fully cannot do strands without a mouse. I need to fix this. How to bring my mouse back from disappearing.
Welcome back to this US Open office.
No, what did I just do?
A message way over Jones's head using some.
Okay. Okay, I guess it looks like I have to restart my computer, but I cannot restart my computer for stream. So, okay, so it appears that I'm just gonna not do strands. But, that's actually kind of unfortunate I can't do strands. But, we're gonna have to deal with that. We're gonna have to deal with that reality. No strands for today, no strands for today. Sorry about that. I've never had my mouse, like, just stop working on stream before. My bad, I guess. I don't really know. We'll do it next time for sure. What I'm looking at, by the way, is like a bruise I got from playing Frisbee today. It's pretty cool, if anything. It's like a perfect circle, kind of. Okay, so I'm actually gonna turn off this music because it's the wrong music for the occasion. You'll never believe what just happened. You'll never believe what just happened. My mouse is so freaking back. Oh my god, I can make everything bigger. Oh, yes. Chat, never mind. We're doing frickin' strands today. Let me make myself bigger. We're doing strands today. Alright, let's do this properly. Make it work. Angle. Anglet. Aglet. Wait, that's so fire. It works now. Cool. Awesome. Near. Tree. Treen. Last time I did a strands last week, it was like the best strands I've ever done. So I have to at least like do well here. But so far I don't know what I'm looking for. Figure. It definitely figures something. Figure skate? Figure cut. Cut. Quartz. Cordon. It's definitely figure something. There's no way figures here and it's not that. Figure one? That's a thing. Figure. Figurine. No. Huh. What is this then? Figure is such like a big word. It has to be figure, right? Maybe it's something figure? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to use a hint because I did so good last week, but I don't think I'm gonna get it. Shoot, no. Vogue. I don't want to look at chat as well. I might have to look at chat if y'all have anything. No, chat's dead silent right now. Dude, there's so many of y'all watching the stream. Why are none of y'all chatting? Someone help. I'm using a hint. Fine angle? What the hell is finangle? What does that even mean? Oh. No, I thought it was gonna be... Oh, yeah. I thought it was gonna be like figure it out or something. Or like figure out. Okay, so it's words for figure out. I just don't know what finagle means, but it's okay. So figure it out. Okay, so words for figure it out. Finagle, fix, why is a V here? A V is pretty strange.
You
Can't.
every last piece of evidence. You made the final
I don't know. This one's much harder than the last one. I'm kind of stuck. I don't know. What else could it be? Why is no one in chat giving me answers? I don't want to use another hint. I already figured out the spangram, so I know what it's asking me of. Trissine. Finesse. Oh my god, I would have had that. Can't spell finesse right. Trivecon? Contrive. I had a Trivecon for contrive. Okay, I'm gonna get it. I have the entire top half filled out. Jinner? Okay, finesse, contrive. These are like big words. Oh, there's only 2 left. This entire thing is 2 words. Oh, it's gonna be engineer. Oh my goodness, I figured it out. Did I? And yeah, engineer. There we go. Then what is this last word? I'm so glad I got engineer. Negiot. This is all one word? There's just so many... There's so many vowels. 2 E's, an A, an I, and an O. All we need is a U, and we have all of them. 10... I feel like it's gonna be like Toge something. Toge? Toji and Tojinet. Or Shia. It could be like Gotchianet. Maybe this T isn't the last or first letter. Maybe it's like at 10? Something? Like negotiate. There we go. Alright, I used 2 hints, but we got there. At the end of the day, we got there. All right, chat. This is a good stream. This made me think more confident for the exam. I think the main thing that I've been feeling getting ready for this exam is that the entire year I've been thinking it's so easy that I haven't really considered what it is. And then I'm like, wait, I have to take an exam tomorrow. And it all felt very random. But yeah, it was good. All 100% of the multiple choice. 3 wrong. Or maybe 2 wrong. on the short answer. Kind of depends on what you consider me right or wrong on. It'll be up to the grader to decide tomorrow. And then the essay 4 out of 5. All I need to do is just yap more. Like, the only things I got points off was just not explaining more. So, we'll be okay. If there's anyone else in chat who's taking this exam tomorrow, good luck. I know there's not as many people as the World stream. Like, obviously not. Like, a lot of people take AP World than a New York State exam. But I hope this is helpful. And even if you're not taking the exam, which I think is a large majority of people who watch today, hope you learned something. Hope it's cool. I'm sure that everyone's out at summer break by this point. My last day of school was literally yesterday. Today I enjoyed my first day of summer, and today was a good day. Today was a fun day. Got some work done, hung out with some cool people. And so with that, chat, I think I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it for this stream, but I will be back in less than a week. I'm not going to pull it up because that's too much work, but we are in Regents mode. We are in New York State exam mode, which means that I'm streaming not every Wednesday like I normally do, but instead the day before every exam. The next time I'm streaming is actually a back-to-back-to-back setup. The next stream is going to be in 6 days' time. No, 5 days' time on Sunday. At 2 p.m., I'm doing a Spanish stream, which should be interesting. Probably the one I'm least confident for out of all my Regents exams. So it'll be fun to see me fumble live. And also, for anyone who knows Spanish and isn't taking the exam, can laugh at me. Because they don't have an exam to take, and they can see me be bad at Spanish. And then that will also be followed up by chemistry the day after, and then finally algebra, before we're done with study streams for the summer, for the school year. That'll be officially it for all the content I learned this year. And then I'll have probably a stream or two before I go off, and then things are happening. I'm planning a whole summer series. I think I mentioned that before, for like video-wise, not stream-wise. So there'll be more information on that once the study streams are over. Other than that, thank y'all chat for hanging out. This has been one of my more popular streams. I think literally like my 5th most viewed. So fire. Thank y'all for hanging out today. Thanks for all the new people who came. Thanks for all the new subscribers. And with that, I wish y'all the best of luck to take the exam tomorrow. And for everyone else, enjoy your summer break. We're officially out of the school year. So, enjoy yourself. But also get work done. Don't get too lazy. Still do stuff. Alright, I'll see you in 5 days, less than a week.